Here are 5 things you must do if you're selling a house in a down market and the house is not in pristine condition. Let's focus on getting the biggest bang for your buck in the least amount of time on the market. Not to keep harping on this property, but there's a few takeaways that I want to discuss with you about how to sell a home in this market, a down market, for the most money, especially when it isn't in pristine condition. No matter what strategy you go with to sell this house, make sure your pricing is sharp. Do your research to know what has sold in the area in the last 30 days, 6 months, or a year, especially in this market. And make sure that you have a good understanding of the scale of what properties are searched for and the price point on Realtor.ca. That's a pro tip. It is absolutely mandatory to see every single property in a 1 kilometer radius that is comparable to your house. You got to see what the competition looks like so you have a better understanding of how you stack up. That also can affect what price point you decide to go with. Remember, the asking price is often just that, an asking price. So get very strategic because 2 things sell a house: price and location. Now, let me take you guys on a tour. This house did not see a stitch of renovations for decades, and yet it still sold within 6 days. So, one thing you might want to consider is virtual staging to paint the picture of what it could look like. So along the border here, you'll see some of the virtual staging that we ended up doing. But regardless, you have to know that the virtual staging is only going to work in one way, and that's to get potential buyers to see the house. Once they see the house, it's not going to be staged in real life. So at the very least, make sure the house is pristinely clean. Not only must it be clean, but especially because this was an older house that hadn't been lived in a little while, make sure the air quality is good. That's also a pro tip. And when I say air quality, I'm mostly talking about make sure that it doesn't smell or have any sort of must to it or funk or anything that could put someone off. Lastly, be extremely mindful when you do list the property, and be mindful of things like interest rate, intended announcement dates, or what time of year it is. Those things do play a really big part. So if you want to sell your home within the least amount of time for the most amount of money, just be aware there is a dozen million trillion billion other things that should be considered. So really reach out to your trusted realtor, aka me. But those are some things that you want to keep top of mind. So it does take work, it does take skill to sell in this market. It is possible, and it is possible to sell for the most amount of money. So with that said, if you're looking to sell, please reach out.